running.
Okay. Oh,
Hi.
you're going to ask. Hi.
Hi, I'm Gail Crosby with the Silver Lake History Collective, and I'm sitting here with Janice Morrow, and we're sitting in Janice's wonderful house, which was created by the famous architect Rudolf Schindler,
Right.
and it is called the Walker House.
Correct.
So Jan, let me ask you a couple of questions. Before that, we have Bob Herzog, who is on camera, and the date is October 4th, 2008. Jan, what is your current address here?
This is 2100 Kenilworth Avenue, Los Angeles 90039. It's Silver Lake.
Right. And how long have you lived in Silver Lake?
I bought the house, moved in July of 1984.
Mm-hmm.
So how many years is that? 24 years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And where did you live before that?
I was born in San Pedro, California, and lived in San Pedro almost all my life,
Okay.
except when I went to UCLA.
Oh, you went to UCLA. Well, that's great. So born and bred Angeles. And what about your parents? Where are your parents from?
Okay, my father was born in upstate New York,
Mm-hmm.
and then they moved to Salem, Oregon, and then down to San Francisco. And my mother was born in Berkeley, California.
That's great. And so you've lived in Silver Lake for about 24 years, and this was the only place that you lived in Silver Lake, correct?
No, I had an apartment. Actually, it was more than one apartment down on Bellevue, and I lived there for about a year until I found the house. to buy.
Mm-hmm. Great. How long did you live there? in
Just
the
about a
apartment?
year.
About a year?
Mhm.
Okay. So, Jan, what do you like about living here?
Well, I wouldn't have bought this house had it not been for the view of the lake, because having been born in San Pedro and I went to Cabrillo Beach swimming every day when I was younger, I had to see water. I mean, I'm a water person. I was born in July, and that's a water person, so that's why I bought the house. I didn't like the house. I'll tell more about that later, but I like the view. I fell in love with the view.
It is. It's a tremendous view. And what are your neighbors like?
Well, interesting enough, today my neighbor had her father visiting, and they went out for breakfast, and then he forgot his wallet and all his identification in her car. So he was parked outside my house for a couple of hours, and then I went out to do something, and he introduced himself to me as Beth next door father, and I said, well, I've got her cell phone. If you're waiting for her, I can call her. So I had him come in. So we used the cell phone to call her, and they were in the house next door. They were inside,
Oh,
and evidently didn't hear the knock or something.
so in other
So-
words, everybody's very friendly and,
Yeah,
you
and
get
the
along really
Fongs
well.
on the other side have lived here. I think they bought about in the 30s somewhere, and they're a very interesting family.
Oh, that's great. So, what do you know about the history of Silver Lake?
I'm not too knowledgeable,
Mhm.
really. I just know that it's not named for a Mr. Silver.
What is
Or
it named
is
for?
It is named for Mr. Silver. It is named for Mr. Silver.
Mhm.
Okay, not because the lake was silver.
He was a commissioner with the DWP back
That's
in
what
the
it was.
20s when
Yes.
they built the dam.
Yes.
And a lot of people think it's because the lake is silver. Well,
Yes.
that's nice, but no, his name was Silver.
That's right.
And
That's
it's
what I
two
remember.
words.
Yes.
Right, it is two words. You see it spelled as one word a lot, and
Uh-huh.
it is. It's actually two. What special events do you remember that has occurred in Silver Lake since you've lived here? During your
Special
24
events?
years?
Well, I've had many house tours. That's a special event to me.
Mm-hmm.
Had many different.
Tell us about that, because you've had up to 700 people come through your
My
home.
first one was 750 people. Diane Keaton was one of the persons who came through, and I didn't know anything about Schindler or the Walker House. I found out rather rapidly. But anyway, I have had MoCA. I've had Mac Center has put on. We've had 200 people. We've had 450 people. We've had 750 people. And I have a record of that in my little book that I kept.
That's incredible.
And you said that you didn't know you had bought a Schindler house?
No.
When did you find out?
I don't know. I really don't, because when my son is in real estate, he was taking me around the area, and also to Santa Monica, showing me different places. And he really sort of wanted me to be over in the Brentwood area, because that's where he lives. But anyway, when he showed me this house, I thought, I don't really like this house, but I like the view, so I bought it. And so my son got the commission.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about Schindler until probably maybe a year or so.
Well, did he realize that it was
I don't
architecturally
think Chris did either.
significant?
No, I don't think he did.
Well, what attracted you to it? Besides the view, this wonderful view of the lake.
Which we'll see in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I needed to invest.
Mm-hmm.
And I had owned a house in San Pedro, and I was making very good money, and I had a couple $100,000 to burn at that time. Not that I put it all into the house at that time, but the house price was good, and I took a second on the house from the Giellas who had lived here. They were the second owners.
What was the price, if you don't mind telling me?
$269,000 in 1984.
You could never get a house like that
No,
at this
no.
price nowadays.
But they wanted, I think, $279,000, and I said no, $269,000, so they went for that. But anyway, originally, I'm just telling you tales. I took a $50,000 second with them, and I thought, this is dumb. I've got the money, so within a year I paid that off.
Paid it off.
And then I had higher interest than I'm still paying, just a little bit for 4 more years. I have 4.75% interest now, and so I've had it a long time. But it was wonderful because I was working downtown LA, and that was the reason I bought it.
It's great. Were you, now you just spoke about the other owners, were they the original owners, or
No.
did somebody else live
No.
here before them?
Mr. and Mrs. Walker were the original owners, and they sold to the Giellas. And I have interesting stories about them. I don't know when you want me to tell.
Tell it now.
Okay, well, anyway, last year when I did my income taxes, which was in Brentwood, I stopped at Farmer's Market to have some fish salad or something. And it was so crowded there wasn't a place for me to sit down. So I saw this one lady sitting at a table. I said, do you mind if I sit down and share the table with you? And so she said, fine. So we started talking, and I told her where I lived. And she said, oh, she said, my daughter used to play with Mr. and Mrs. Giela's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And they were real good friends, and she knew the house inside out. And here I was just, picking out a stranger. And Mrs. Giella had just passed away in Arizona. And this lady was debating whether she should fly over and go to her funeral. And I mean, this is a stranger, right? And I said, oh, you were close to the family, your daughter used to play with her daughter, you must go to the funeral. So I talked her into going to the funeral. And this was, I have like ESP or something like that, and this happens to me all the time.
Where you meet someone
I
who
meet
has,
somebody,
yeah,
and there's something there.
absolutely.
So it was very interesting.
Just getting back, so you say that the original owners, the house was built in 1936, correct?
Right.
So the first owners were the Walker family.
Right.
Is that why the name is called the Walker
Yes,
House?
it is.
So in other words, Mr. Schindler created the house, do you know, specifically
for
for that
them.
family?
That's right.
That's
yes.
great.
Mhm.
Do you know a bit about the Walkers, how many children they had, or if they didn't have children?
Not really. I do know that they had downstairs, well, this house has the maid's room upstairs. I sleep in the maid's bedroom.
Mhm.
So they had a maid, and originally the doorway right here had a door, which we have downstairs still, and they closed off the kitchen so that if they entertained, they could not show the dirty dishes in the kitchen. The maid
Right.
could just do all the dishes.
Mhm.
And then this area over there where I have my piano, that was a music room, and they used to have a grand piano that fit right in there. And then they had a little radio down in that little opening where my pumpkin is.
Mhm.
And then where my TV is the original little record player that they had. So that was their music area over
Mhm.
there. And so I have a couple of things that they had. So then they did have children. I think they had 2 daughters, I believe. And downstairs, there's one, not huge bedroom, but that's where Mr. and Mrs. Walker used to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had an adjoining bathroom between the other bedroom, and their two daughters slept in the remaining bedroom downstairs. And Mr. Rudolf Schindler built twin beds along the length of the room, and it's a frame like this. So my daughter sleeps in that room and works in that room. The other room was for my grandson. It's empty right now. But then they had the playroom and the family room downstairs that has a fireplace. That had I have the original flooring. It was like a asphalt tile floor. And that was just a playroom for the children to play in. But I made it into a family room.
Right. Well, it's a great house. Just from the time of the 24 years that you've been here, have you seen a significant change in Silver Lake?
Well, there's been more homes built. I'm looking at a white house over there that's like 3 stories, and a friend of mine's son had built that house. He was a contractor, and it was interesting because they had a party, and I was so amazed that they had so many cars parked up that steep hill on both sides of the street, and they had people out on the little lawn there. It was fun to see.
Right.
But that was just one of the houses that was built recently.
Yeah, and they have a party every year. Okay. What do you feel makes Silver Lake special?
Well, I think, first of all, the community, there's a lot of professional artists, and at the end of the block, we have, I don't know if I should mention who, but we have an actress that's on television that lives at the end of the block.
You have to tell us. You can't tease us like that.
She's the star woman in Cold Case, and I don't know her name. But anyway, she's in a Spanish home down there, the yellow Spanish home. And then we have Doctor 2 doors down. And across the street, we had Michael Ruse built the house across the street, and he was a state assemblyman at one time, and he was also with the Parks and Recreation Department of Los Angeles, but he sold, he had a divorce in the family, and so he sold to these 2 very lovely Japanese girls. And so they're my neighbors directly across the street. Next door is the Fong family, and they've been here in the area for at least 50 years. And on Gold Mountain was written about their family, was written about other Chinese people, but they're just a wonderful, wonderful neighbor next door.
Right.
Okay, hold just a second. Now we're recording.
So getting back to Silver Lake, where do you like to shop, and do you have any favorite restaurants in the neighborhood?
Well, we went last night, but it's actually went to El Compadre, Mexican food.
Which is in Echo Park.
Echo Park.
So it's really close.
Yeah, and delicious. And my daughter had her 49th birthday party there, August 8th, 08.
Right.
And so that was fun. We go to various places. We do eat out a lot, but I eat at Astro's if I'm by myself.
Astro Burger, family restaurant.
Family restaurant, and it's the price is right for me. Italian food, we go various places. I go up to Glendale, but I haven't tried the new restaurant that just opened. I can't think of the name of it. The Italian restaurant.
Michelangelo's.
Michelangelo's.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful restaurant.
I haven't tried that.
Now I see all the wonderful Halloween figures around, and I see that you and your daughter are getting ready to celebrate Halloween. What do you like to do on Halloween?
Because we have so many little, I'm going to say tchotchkes, so many little things I've picked up through the years. My daughter loves to put them out a whole month ahead. And she won't be here for Halloween, so I'll probably just be giving out treats to the neighborhood children. And unfortunately, there's not that many little children around anymore, but I have pumpkin outside, and I have the house set in case somebody wants to come in for the Halloween decoration.
Now, Jan, what did you do last year at Halloween?
Probably the same thing, maybe I've gotten some new little.
I remember something a little bit different. I remember.
Oh, you know what I did? Oh, yes, we did it. We had a table outside and we offered our neighbors wine
And margaritas, I remember.
and margaritas.
And you were dressed up.
Yes,
What were
we
you?
dressed up. I don't remember.
I remember somebody
We
was a
had-
witch.
We had Joan, my neighbor, about 3 or 4 houses down. She was a witch, and Margie, I forget, I can't remember what I wore. But we had more fun, and we had people, our neighbors, driving by, and they'd stop their car, and we'd say, "Do you want a drink?" And we'd fix them a glass of wine, and let them have, and then they'd go on.
We're just
I
hoping
don't-
nobody got arrested. Right?
I don't know if we're going to do that this year because Margie's going to be at a produce convention in Florida, Orlando, and I don't know if I can do it by myself. Maybe Joan will help me.
Right. What kind of work does Margie do?
Right now, she's a consultant for the California Avocado Commission and the Chilean Hass Avocado Commission, and she was down there yesterday, and she's been doing lots of things for them, and she invented a new little sandwich, which I can't tell you about yet, with avocados, and they went for it, and then she was doing all kinds of things for them, and they bought the whole package yesterday, so she's very happy today.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, this concludes this segment of our interview. Why don't we take a look around your house?
I'd love to take you on a tour.
Thank you. That'll be great.
Can I? What was I going to tell you? My mind
You
is.
said, let me tell you, and then I cut you off.
Oh, I was going to tell you something. but
Something about the house.
I don't remember what it was now.
Can I ask her what the future of Silver Lake is? Is that to what she feels, how she feels about the future of Silver Lake activity? She's in a lot of activities in
Yeah,
Silver Lake.
why don't
when
you
think
tell
of
us
it.
about your activities?
Yeah, tell us about your activities, some of the functions that you participate in Silver Lake.
Well, right now, I'm very pleased to.
Okay.
And said, "Are you going to do what you did last year?" And it was already getting dark. We hadn't even thought about it,
Yeah.
and then we just did it.
We're
said,
talking
"Oh."
about I'm recording this. We're
Okay.
talking about last year at Halloween, they had a stand out on the street and they called it trick or drinking. and we're off camera is Jan's daughter,
Margie.
Margie, and she's asked not to be taped. And so you're not going to get to see Margie, but you'll hear her voice because she's going to help her mom with some recall on memories and details of the house. So.
Yep.
Okay.
So, let's go around. Let's see
Okay.
this wonderful house.
Well, while we're here,
How about the plant?
I'm going to stand over here and tell you about this plant. I have a book that I'll show you in a few minutes, but it shows a picture of this plant. This plant was in this same Bower plant pot, 1936.
Oh, you're
It's-
kidding.
It has grown a little bit because I am a good grower.
That's fabulous. So it's in the Bower pot, so that's the original
That's
pot.
the original pot and the original plant.
And the name of the plant is Sansevieria, or mother-in-law's tongue.
I also heard of something about a snake plant or something.
Something like that, because
Yeah, or something like that. Anyway, this is all the original, like mirror. All this is.
okay, I'm at the kitchen and I noticed this almost tiny little nook that was slipped in here. Could one of you step over there so I have
Yes, I'll
perspective?
demonstrate. I'm 5'2".
Jan's going to demonstrate,
And you have to.
Now, she can
wiggle
get in
yourself
there.
In here.
but I would have difficulty, and the reason was,
Well, years ago, when this house was built in 1936, men and women were smaller in height. And the men were probably 5'4", 5'6" at the most. And so this was proper for that day and age, for a family to sit here if they wanted to. And they did have 2 children, so they could put a chair at the end. And this was probably, this little gadget, Margie, what do you call it? That little table?
It's a
that
table.
lifts
It lifts up.
And you bring it over and it extends the counter.
clever.
But I don't use it anymore because I had a different thing done to the kitchen. And if you go this way, I'll show you what I did.
Okay,
Go the other
I'm
way.
gonna pan toward you, Margie.
Get out of here.
Okay, I wanted to get the kitchen. Now, these are all, of course, new modern appliances.
This right here is a little medicine cabinet for me. But this was originally, didn't have the little shelves in it. This is where the Walker's maid would have dowel rods that would drop down, and she would dry her dish towels, because this is before the day of dryers. I made it into a little medicine cabinet. This one over here is just junk and thing, but it's handy. And this was the original electricity box. I moved that to outside. The cupboards are original, and they're wonderful for storage. We just have to, because we're short, we have to get a step stool to get to the top.
And that,
This
is that
up
the
here?
original?
Those are,
There's a cabinet up there too as well?
Oh, yeah, it
yes,
fits
yes, on
right
both
into
sides.
fits
Uh-huh.
into the slant.
So-
And that is the original exhaust fan over there in the upper
it
corner?
is, and I pulled it too hard one day and haven't had it fixed. But this is the original cupboard, and you can see that it's really very adequate. This
Don't close it yet, I'm not with you. Now I'm with you.
Okay, this was the original food cupboard, and this was my grandson's height. This was a broom closet. I converted it to more cupboard space because I didn't need it for a broom closet, I needed the space. This was also on this side. This was for dishes or whatever they wanted. You could have more cupboard space here. And this is really handy. And right here, underneath these, for the maid, she could take the dish towels or linens and stuff, and there's a little lift up, which I still have in here, a lift up space that drops down into the laundry room, so she didn't have to carry the dirty laundry. This was something I wanted to show you here that is very interesting. I'm going to backtrack here and show you a picture. My grandson was in high school, and he
Now,
Oh.
now start.
Okay, this picture was done by my grandson his last year of high school at Marshall High School. And it depicts something that I'm going to show you in the kitchen. Follow me.
The Swedish fellow.
When Schindler built this house, this was in the days of when they would, I think you have to come this way to see, when they would deliver milk.
Oh.
So
And
it's the little milk cabinet.
the milk cabinet, and on this side, because this is just sort of, you can't see it, but there's that wheel that Mark has pictured. It's about 3 or 4 inches wide. If you come and look at the top part
Oh,
of
and
this
that,
wheel.
so that was a picture
That was
of,
a
of the
picture.
milk wheel that was left in the
Right,
milk.
but you have to come on this side and really look in there up top.
Well, it's too dark.
It's too dark. But anyway, that's, and there's an outer, on the wall outside,
Door.
there's a little door
Mm-hmm.
where the milkman would deliver the milk. And the maid would put what they needed, milk or butter or eggs or whatever would fit in there.
My parents had one of those in the back, and the milkman would come to the back of the house and open the door and take out an empty bottle of milk or 2 and then put 2 more in. But can you imagine? He did that at every house.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
Those were innocent. And we also had the helmsman, too.
Oh, yeah.
The
helmsman.
I remember the helmsman.
Do you know about the these shelves right here? If these are original or if they were put in at a later date?
This Formica is when I had the kitchen redone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same color as what I had before, and we matched it. But this is the original.
This is great. So the table is original.
Table's original. It's just that there's new Formica.
And what was the
Right.
year of this house was completed?
1936.
36.
Yes.
You know, the funniest thing too about Schindler is that he wasn't really popular in his day. He wasn't recognized until about the 1980s.
Right.
He became really, really famous. And what he's known for were his vibrant colors and also his usage of a lot of glass and wood. At that time too, he used a lot of redwood. I noticed this isn't redwood, but it's a
pine wood.
it's a pine wood, but it's very much something that he would do because of the fact that there is a lot of wood throughout the house. It's a great house for that.
Did you want me to show the cupboard here? Do you?
Absolutely, sure.
Well, this is Schindler's work. All these. He was the originator of drawers that were recessed with no knobs on it. So he was the first one that did this, where you just had to go underneath to pull the drawers open. He didn't like knobs. And this is where I have childproof locks since the earthquake, because I lost a lot of my beautiful crystal. But anyway, this is where I keep a lot of the stemware, and some of it's old and some of it's new. But this is wonderful to have my towels and things right here, linens. And the same way there, I have my china and my silver stored there.
Just so you understand, I have to move slowly. I've been told by our video editor that I move too fast and
Oh.
you can't slow it down. So,
Well, those cupboards hold.
okay.
Now, an Art Deco clock that was here in 1936. I do have the hands buried in a little cupboard down there, but this was the original clock. This is all the original woodwork.
Now, was it always there? Was that clock there when he
Yes.
built the house?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
I have a picture of it.
And this is built in, this couch is
This
built in.
is built in, and I've had this recovered 3 times, and I will show you. I don't know when you want me to show you some books that prove this, how it looked before, but anyway.
Let's do that at the end,
At the
because if I run out of, I've got another tape, but if I run out of battery,
Right, right.
then we can always reshoot that. We
Okay,
can pick that
all right.
up.
This is where, I think you already taped this, where I said about the record player and so forth.
Yes, I did.
Right, so this was the music area.
And this is where they used to have toys and things
Oh,
stored.
a lot of hidden storage over
I
here.
have my pots and things stored here that I don't have room for in the other room. Oops. Okay. I think I'll take you up toward the
Okay.
maid's room.
And the fireplace works, correct?
Fireplace works, And that's a wood box that I have.
And this looks like the original fireplace.
That is original fireplace and original
I'm
screen.
going to pan around there.
That
very
is original screen.
Slowly.
This was my child's desk when I was little. I don't know if you want to put that in.
I want to get the fireplace. And try to do this without breaking my neck. You know what?
Okay, this is the upstairs bathroom, and I have had this remodeled. It wasn't tiled, but that's the original light, and this is all the original hardware.
Now,
that
what about
Schindler
the
had.
windows, Jan?
The windows are original.
That's great. So do you keep warm here in the winter? Do you have any problem with that?
Do I have any problem? I'm sorry.
Keeping warm in the winter?
Well, we just put in a heater that wasn't working. These are the original vents, but the heater pooped out on me. So just about 3 weeks ago, I had the air conditioning and heater done to the tune of quite a few thousand. This is this black. This is all the Schindler original fixtures. All of these. So I'm trying to pick up with the black tones.
Very much of the period.
And-
These ceramic towel rack holders.
And
Yeah, it's pretty.
This is the original
Shower bar?
shower bar, and this is original. Not this, but this is. And of course that is a stick that pulls that shut. I've got it shut because of the weather right now.
So you have a natural exhaust system in the summer when you're using the shower.
And this is just my little idiosyncrasies.
Your little baby on the toilet, right?
Yes, on the little toilet.
Oh, cute.
Well, that's a little bank for my grandson. The maid's room.
This is the maid's room.
Yes, and so I sleep in the maid's room. This was the headboard that I got free from Michael Ruse across the street. He was throwing it away, and I said, I want it.
That was our councilman, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah,
Well,
he
he
was
was-
a
he was,
councilman many years ago.
Parks, he was, let's see, what was he? State Assemblyman, wasn't he?
Mhm.
I think so.
And so this is built in too. And look
Yes.
at this. Look at this wonderful
Well, now,
glass here.
let me tell you about that. It rained last night, so you can see that it's dirty right now. And if it wasn't still sort of moist, I would have had the gardener take a hose and wash that off. But this was my idea.
Oh, so that
When-
was you had that done.
Well, long story.
Uh-huh.
When I was living here by myself before my daughter moved in, I had a desk at the top there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had earthquake damage in 1994.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the contractor working on the house. And I'm sitting at the desk, and all of a sudden I look over. This was all plywood, like the top, like the ceiling.
Right.
And I saw this man going to crash through the window. I saw his ankles coming in. I screamed. And I said, no, no, no. And they didn't realize it was just so light. He would have fallen in. So they came in here, they removed the plywood, and it let all this light in. We could see the trees and see the sky, and at night I see airplanes or helicopters going by. I love it. So anyway, I suggested let's put just window in there.
That was a great idea.
And it's fine. You know?
Jan, tell us about the first few weeks you were in this house and where you slept.
Okay, I'll take you on a tour. This, by the way, this is my little wardrobe thing here. This is my little closet, because this was the maid's room. This is very hard for me, who I love clothing, to store anything here.
Because but this is the original.
That's
Is
this
this
is
like a
original.
jewelry drawer right here?
It is. This is not divided. But look at my mess in here.
That's great.
But it's and this
We won't share your mess with the
My-
public.
Your closet.
my closet.
But
Yeah.
people didn't have a lot of clothing during that time
but this
too.
was a maid. See, all she had was a maid's uniform.
Mm-hmm. And then you have another set of drawers over
now
here,
this
which were original.
this was the original, and this was when he invented recessed drawers. So there's no knobs.
Another thing that Rudolf Schindler was known for, the fact that he would work within a very constrained budget. He could stretch $1. He could make a house so economically.
He did. I don't know what this original cost was. I'd love to know, but it was a very economical house.
You're on.
My husband had passed away. He was a school teacher, and he passed away in 1983. I bought this house and moved in July of 1984. And I was all by myself. And so when I moved in, I had my brother and his wife help me move and so forth. And I had a moving van. And the first night that I slept here, I slept right here. I didn't have this here.
You mean where I'm standing? You
Right.
slept right here.
I slept on the floor
Oh
with
my
a
goodness.
long knife, kitchen knife, by my side.
Why?
I was so frightened. I heard the cracking and the groaning of the windows, and I was frightened to death.
Gail?
because
God, it's such a small area.
Step over here for me. I want to
Yes.
show where.
I just lay down right here.
That's the front
Oh
door.
my
That's the front
goodness.
door.
Right
and
there.
And you just laid right here
I laid
because you
right
were so
down
scared.
here. I was so frightened. I think I did it for maybe the first 4 or 5 days.
But you were living over on Bellevue, correct?
Yeah.
Which is also in Silver Lake.
It was an
Sorry about
apartment.
that.
Were the
But-
two neighborhoods that distinct? Was where you're living right now on Kenilworth, was it a lot like Bellevue in terms of crime, or what was it that was scaring you so much?
No, it was just
Being
it
alone.
it was so open, and I had neighbors there, and I had friends. Like I had the apartment that I had a long ramp leading up to my room, and I had a view of the freeway and so forth. But it was a nice little apartment. It was 2 bedrooms, and it had a small deck and porch and so forth. But I didn't want to live there forever.
Right.
So when I bought this house, it wasn't my type of house. I had maple furniture and things like that, but I finally realized that I bought it for the view. And I didn't know that the house would creak and groan, and in July the glass was cracking and making sounds in here, and it just frightened me.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so
In July,
in July.
was
yeah.
it pretty hot during that time?
It was hot.
It was
Mhm,
very
it was hot.
hot.
So I just lay right down here for about 4 or 5 days until I got used to the house. And then I chose to sleep downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, downstairs wasn't convenient for me. I had a bigger bedroom than this little maid's room.
Right.
But I was always running up and down stairs. So I thought, I'll just move into the maid's room. And
Right.
that worked out fine, because eventually my daughter moved in with me. She sold her little house on the other side of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had her son, my grandson, had one room, and she had that room and the bathroom, and then they had the family room downstairs where they could watch their TV and I could watch my TV.
Right, so then everybody had their
Everybody-
own space.
everybody had their
And
own
then you
space.
didn't have to worry about the stairs. You didn't have to do the stairs
That's right,
anymore.
right.
So that worked out really well.
Speaking of stairs, I'd like to take you downstairs.
Absolutely.
And, if you wear bifocal glasses, be careful, because I had a friend, my closest girlfriend, who hated my house after I took her downstairs because she thought she was going to fall all the way down. There are no railings to hold on to.
Oh,
So-
they didn't believe in railings those days, huh?
Right.
Now, the house is about a little bit over 1,900 square feet.
Yes, it's almost 2,000 square feet.
Oh, so what is this room?
Okay, this was known as Mrs. Walker's potting room.
Oh my God, so she was a
She, she had plants, and she used to have this little area here where she worked on plants, and this was her potting room. And this I've turned into, my mother did the paintings.
Oh, that's
This
great.
was her last painting that she did for Margie when Margie was living in Chicago.
Mm.
And so a lot of these are just memories of mine. This is the trips that we've taken to Europe. You know, this is Mykonos. I just gave a story about Mykonos. And this was Germany, and this was Stonehenge in London, and this was Delft, Holland. This was Margie's trip, and this my girlfriend brought me from Brazil. This was Madrid, and Madrid over here. A lot of these are my last trip from Delft, Holland. The little things here, and those are from Paros, Greece, and Spain.
This is great. So do you ever sit in this room and read or do anything in this room?
Yes, I make a drink every night in here.
Oh, okay.
I'll
So
show you.
show us your bar.
Let's see, I should probably turn the light on. Flip that switch, would you please?
Sure.
Let's see if the light goes on, yeah. This is, now known as my potting room. This is where I get
This is
my...
where you get potted?
Your inspiration.
This is where I get
Potted.
my friends.
You get potted in
Potted.
here.
This is my drink. You can't see it.
It's a little bar.
Little
Oh
bar
yeah, I
area.
can see that. Wow.
Okay, and then, and I cleaned this up for you guys, so any of these glasses are clean. If you'd like a drink, I can fit. My mother did these paintings also, and so this is, my husband had done this in high school. These are just memories for me, but this is where I have extra dishes and things.
And you have a sink over there.
And the
This is
sink-
great because it's hidden. You can't really see
this
it
is
when you come down
It's
here.
perfect for a wet bar, except I found when I cleaned this out a couple of days ago, I've got a drip, so I've got to put in look. So
Another washer.
another washer, so I'm trying to see how much, maybe that's why my water bill went up.
How much is your water bill?
This month was terrible, the sewage, because we had the sewer work done.
Yeah, the sewer
And
line.
my bill
Right.
went up $260 for
Oh my God, from where? What was it before?
stationery. But anyway, I want to make this expanded a little bit more so I can have more chairs out there.
You know, this is really great because I can even feel that in this room right here. It's for me, it's almost like I can feel the presence of Mrs. Walker. That it just feels that this room.
This was her room.
Yeah, this was her room. There's a lot of feeling that is attached to this particular
I love
room,
this
which
room.
is really, really nice.
Oh, and this was Schindler's cleverness. This was built for a card table.
Oh,
And so I have TV stands, TV trays and things.
which
stored
you
there.
store in there.
Yeah, and then this also lifts up. I don't know if
This
you can see
right
it, but it
here.
is in it.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
great for additional storage.
So and this was
That's an old fridge.
this
Yeah.
old fridge that was given to me and by my mother's friends, and my husband restored it. And the chair you're sitting in,
Mm-hmm.
you have to get up a moment. Let me show you. This was my grandfather's chair that he brought around the horn.
Around the horn? What's that? What was
Like
the horn?
around the coming from wherever they were coming from, they went around the horn, which would be like South America and up.
Where were they from?
Well, this
New
this would have
England?
been well, my grandfather was from New England, but his father had been from England.
But when they came around the horn, they were coming from the East Coast.
I would say from the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was my grandfather's chair.
That's before the
Great-grand-
Panama
great-grand-
Canal.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Great
see.
grandfather, I think it was now. That was
That's wonderful.
but that's over 100 years old.
This is a really nice room. What is your favorite part of the house? What's your favorite room, your favorite spot?
Probably my upstairs outside porch. We love it we'll play pinochle out there in the summertime, and we'll eat breakfast or lunch out there or dinner if it gets too hot in the house.
We should go look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to turn the camera off while
Okay.
we walk. We are at the little patio.
A roller screen
In the living room?
that I've had put in, and it's wonderful because I put it down here.
Keeps the bugs out.
No,
It's
but
perfect.
I leave it open because my cat can go in and out. He sleeps
Right.
out on the porch a lot.
Oh, that's good.
So anyway, this needs probably to have a new screen, but you can't even get them hardly anymore.
You know what I like to, Jan, about you is that the adjustments that you've made to the house, they fit into the integrity and the style of the house. So you made some really, really great choices.
Now this is Jan's favorite area of the house.
This
The
is
little
my.
porch and deck.
Okay, I want to tell you about this porch just a little bit. When we had the earthquake in 1994, I wasn't able to live in this house for a year because I had damage. And so when the city came in and they were saying what improvements I had to make to the house in order to live here, they overlooked the fact that this is not up to code. This is the original railing. Nobody gets to put a low one like this
It's
anymore.
too
Right,
low.
yeah,
It's too low.
absolutely.
But what I did down here, this is another deck. I don't know if you can see. My son and I talked, and I put like plexiglass down there so that I could still get the view.
Right.
And I did change that a little bit down there, but we had to raise up the railings down there. It used to be low.
That was a really smart idea to put the plexiglass there too.
But anyway, this is my backyard, and the trees are overgrown right now. I need to have them
Volleys.
cut. This was my grandson's tree house that was a custom tree house. It's a split level tree house. It cost $1,400 to build. And he had a ladder that he went up, and then he had one story, then he would go up another ladder inside. My kitty cat's on the roof right now. And he would go up on top of the deck, and he and his Jeremy, Carla's son, and he would play war, and they pretend to shoot people.
What a great idea. Just wonderful.
And just my backyard goes down to the bottom trees, so you can't really see it all, but you can see that green piece of copper down there in the lower yard. That fit into this space here, and it was the original plant holder for this area here, but I never put it back in because they had taken it out, and I thought it must have had a problem.
The view is splendid, not only of the lake, but of the neighborhood. It's like a Mediterranean village.
And the greenhouse at the end over there, that's another Schindler home. That's the Drosty house. Yeah, that's the Drosty house. The Lees live there.
Oh, it's amazing.
And they looked at this house first and almost bought this house before I bought it. And then they decided that they wanted a flat backyard, which they have at that house. They didn't, because they had two girls, they wanted to have more playroom. Mine is fine for me.
I'm staying away from this railing.
Yeah.
One little slip and you'd be hauling me out of your backyard.
I had a party here one time in the rain, and this man got a little bit tipsy, sat out here. I said, "Oh my God, come on in real fast."
Am I
because
going to
if
have
he
a
had-
lawsuit?
Oh yeah, I was so frightened. This is my little planter stuff there, and that's the windows. I have one that's frozen right now from when I had the workman work on the house. He did something to it. I can't move it, so the air is going through there.
Okay, that glass door
The glass door
swings.
and you can fasten it so that it cuts off the wind.
Ah,
So I have, when I first moved in here, I slept outside here, pulling that shut, and I just put down a mattress or something down on the floor and slept out here a couple of nights. It was nice. I didn't feel like I was going to fall over or anything. but it cut the wind off. But
You
I-
just slept so many places other than the bedroom when you first
she
moved
sleeps
here.
around.
I know. That's right. We got a secret.
I was 24 years younger, you know. I had a lot of energy in those days.
We can see you did.
I will shut this door again because it's probably too cold.
Should we go downstairs to the bedrooms?
Yeah, I will take it down.
It's a great house.
This is my old pal Merle from many years. Merle Welch. Hi, Merle.
Hi there.
Who knows a lot about architecture?
He does.
One at a time because my knee doesn't work right.
Okay, we're going downstairs and there's no railing, so as soon as the ladies get down to the bottom, I'm going to turn the camera off and follow them. Otherwise, I would follow them head first.
Playroom. I
Mhm.
had this carpeted, but this was where the girls, what do you want, Hank? What?
I'm trying not to interrupt you, but you should open the blinds so you get some light.
Oh. I didn't
Thanks,
do
Margie.
that. Oh, I could do that. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, it's a nice view too.
Okay, all right. Then this is all original built furniture by Schindler. This was where the maid, whoops. I've got it full of
Tchotchkes.
Yagros and things like that, but
Oh, expensive tchotchkes.
it's boarded up because when the Walkers lived here, or Gigellas, I forget which, the maid used to just throw the dirty clothes through here and it would land into the laundry room outside.
Oh, that's great.
A laundry chute.
But when the Gigellas had a dog, they used to let the dog sleep in the laundry room and he would crash through here. So they boarded it up, so I have never used that.
How could the dog get from the laundry room up through this?
Pardon?
How did the dog get from the laundry room up the chute?
No, the laundry room is higher level.
Oh, I see.
It's a higher level. And he was able to, I don't know how. But he made it. Maybe he got on top of a washing machine or something, I don't know. But anyway, this is the other fireplace down here. Margie loves this room down here.
It's an interesting painting.
We have many old books in here. And let's see, Margie, what else do we have down here?
The original door from the kitchen upstairs,
yeah,
hidden
it's
behind the couch.
Is behind the couch. We kept it.
Fur closet.
The fur closet, okay.
Fur closet.
The
Let me-
fur closet?
Okay,
Where's the
that-
fur closet?
I'll show you.
You coming around this way? Okay.
Okay, this was Mrs. Walker's fur closet. Now,
Oh my.
I don't own a fur,
Little
but, oh my God, it's not
Oh,
very.
cedar
But
lined.
it's cedar lined.
Oh, this is
And-
nice.
You can look in there, but it's like my clothes that didn't fit on the rack right now. We've got so much clothes in here. But this was the original fur closet.
Oh, that's great.
So we have lots of things stored in there.
Now
too.
were you in the clothing business?
I was. Yes.
What were you doing in the clothing business?
I was a manufacturer sales representative for 24 years, and I had my own showroom at the California Mart downtown.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why there's so many clothes in here.
And that's why you know about fashion and fur rooms.
Right, right.
Because most of us wouldn't have known what a fur room was.
Right.
That is specifically for
Right.
that.
Could be made into a sauna someday.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This, okay, this was hand done by my mother's grandmother in Spain. So this has got to be about 150 or 175 years old?
No, not that much. 150 or so.
150 years old.
It's beautiful.
But this is an original tapestry. And then my mother did the painting down there.
So you're descendant of Spain?
Yeah, partially. And from England, Scotland, and where else, Margie?
That's about it.
Yeah. Let's see, would have been my great-grandmother.
Your great-grandmother.
Maria Luisa Carreras.
Is she on one of these pictures right here?
You're a Carrera?
Carreras.
Like
that was
Jose Carreras?
Carreras, and this was a famous name, and there was two families that merged, and the grandmother that came out of the mother's side let's see, no, she was a Carreras. Anyway, he was a Don. And if I went to Spain, I don't know if right now, but years ago, I could be a Doña, which was a titled person. Okay.
Yes.
This was my little grandson. When he was born, he was in the hospital. That's Marcus. And this,
You wrote a story about
Yes, I
him
did.
and his stuffed Mickey Mouse toy, which
and
is
I-
very cute.
And the Mickey Mouse toy
And it
is on.
spurred me to write one
I
about
know.
Porky the Pig. Remember
I
that?
still have it. It's over there, the little Mickey Mouse. And
Oh.
He was about a month old there.
Who are these three ladies? I know two of them.
Well, this is my daughter. This is
Right.
my sister.
Ah,
And my sister, unfortunately, has Alzheimer's now, but she's living in her own house and having her granddaughter take care of her. This was my father's family. This was the Rockwell family, the Rockwell side. So this was my grandfather, Granddaddy Rockwell, my grandmother, my father, my uncle, and my three aunts. And of course, nobody's living now, but anyway, she was married to a general. And
when do you think this photo was taken? 1920s something, I would guess.
I would say so. Let's see, my aunt, let's see, she was the baby.
Look at those hair bows.
I know. That's what I
Well,
think. It looks
my
like maybe
father
the
was
early
born in
1900s.
1902, and Jay was
Well,
born
he
about
looks to
1900,
be about 16,
16 or 17, yeah.
so that would be
About 1919.
1919, 1920.
yeah.
It's the hair bows. And look at
Give it, and also the dress too. The Roaring
Yeah.
20s.
Isn't that cute?
now this lady is
That's my grandmother.
your grandmother and your
My
grandfather.
grandfather, my Uncle Jay Rockwell, and my daddy, and my three aunts.
This is which one's your dad?
This one.
Ah.
Handsome young man. He,
Yes.
So this one. That's your
And that's-
dad.
yeah.
See where you get your eyes.
And he owned 2 hotels in San Francisco.
This gentleman below your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, my mother did the painting.
Your mother was
Yeah.
quite an artist.
Yes, she was, and I was her.
Do that description one more time, because we haven't seen a picture of your husband.
Oh, okay.
But that's you and your husband.
Yes, we were at a
And-
class reunion, and this is my daughter Margie.
That's
She's
Margie.
about 17. My son Chris, and my foreign exchange daughter from Finland, Elina. Elina knew me,
And knew me.
and I was her American mom she lived with us for a year.
And I'm out of still photos, Chuck, or I would have taken pictures of these. But at least I know how to use it now.
What about fall behind you?
Okay, this is
This
Master.
is the master
the
bedroom.
master bedroom, which is occupied by Margie, who is following behind me.
Actually, it's occupied by my son, but he's
Oh, your
currently
son.
in college. He's taller and bigger than I, so he got the bigger room. But this was the original master, and has a deck out with the sliding glass door, so it has its own little private deck.
And its own nice little view, framed by the trees.
Yeah.
Oh, and I see there's a shared bathroom, and then may I go into your room?
Sure.
Okay, this is her son's room, as she stated. I'm just shooting back to where we came
You can
through.
See all his.
There's my dad.
Trophies.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The football player, there's my
Can
dad.
you bring that over? Bring the picture over?
Can I lift it off? I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
No, I have to take this one off then first. Yeah, this was.
Bring it into the light over here, and then I've got.
You
okay.
describe it.
Well, that's my father.
San
and
Pedro High.
San Pedro High School. So
Playing
here
football.
local. And my son was a football player at John Marshall High School, so that was kind of his.
Did you grow up in this neighborhood?
Not this neighborhood. I grew up in San Pedro, but my son was born in Silver Lake, and went all the way through school in Silver Lake practically.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop here. We just passed through the shared bathroom, and we're now in Margie's area, her office, and she's got a nice view.
This was the Walker girls' original room where you have the 2 built-in
The
twin
2
beds.
built-in beds.
Oh, this is tremendous.
for the
I
daughters,
love
the
this
Walker
for
girls.
the daughters. Isn't that great?
I was trying to describe it. We need to restore the wood.
And those are the steps that we came down to this level.
And this was.
All built-in closets, original.
I won't lift it up.
This has a tremendous lake view
This
too.
was
It's a wonderful
Mrs.
lake view.
Walker's dressing table. Margie doesn't want me to show what's inside, but it had a mirror in there. And,
What
she
is
was-
It's great.
Okay.
and then this is This is the original thing, and has an outside door to the porch, to the deck that way too.
Okay, Schindler was known for roof lines like that and for his houses to be three-dimensional, and also
This is Bob Herzog, and with me is Lucy Jones, and it is October 8th, Tuesday, and we have returned to the Jan Morrow's house, the Rudolf Schindler house. This is the front side of the Rudolf Schindler house, built in 1936. We're going to get some other views from the back side today. And there is the owner of the house as I speak.
I heard a honk.
And this is Jan once again.
Hello. Hi, Lucy.
I didn't get to come here on Saturday, so I
know.
get a private one today.
Come on.
Okay, we're recording.
Well, this is unusual about this house. Not many houses have a sliding front door. And so a lot of people knock on this door, which is the garage door, thinking I'll answer that. But I don't. I answer this one. So come on in. Hold the screen.
Okay, I'm here with Margie, Jan's daughter, and this is a pickup piece. When the camera stopped last Saturday, she was explaining some of the architectural detail that Schindler had incorporated into his houses, and this one as well.
And this is one that a lot of architects like to look at because it shows how Schindler followed the slope of the hill with his architecture, and also the sloping roof, so it's better for neighbors from above to be able to still see the view. And just lots of letting the outside in through the windows.
All right, I'm going to pan across the upper level of the house. We are on the second level. There is yet another one. We mentioned about the wood framing being painted silver or to look like aluminum. And there's Jan up there with Lucy. Jan is once again giving a tour of her house. And I am going to go downstairs and get a shot of the porch. This is a door that goes into the living room. And
Actually, bedroom.
the bedroom, I'm sorry, we're on the bedroom level now. And here is a quick tour of or rather a quick pan, not too quick, but a pan of the view today. It's a bit more clear today. It rained last Saturday. And it's much clearer today, but it's a wonderful neighborhood. That is, of course, Silver Lake down below us. And these are a shot of the neighbor's house. If you look in the middle of the frame right now, there's another green house. That's another Schindler in this neighborhood. I'm not sure how many Schindlers there are in Silver Lake.
We can see two from our house, and there's others in the neighborhood as well. That's the Drosty house.
The other one I just showed was the Drosty house. All right, my next shot will be, all right, here we are on the lower level of the house. This is a jacuzzi in the forefront on the left, but there's a shot of the porch, which I would guess is it looks about 75 feet long, Margie.
Okay.
Do you think that's about right?
Probably, yeah.
And what I would like to do is to go down to the end of the porch and then walk down below the house. But they do a lot of entertaining here in the summertime because it's cool and comfortable, and it's like being out in the woods. This level has a lot of trees down below. And right now there's a very nice breeze blowing from behind me. Totally different climate than we had on Saturday when it was overcast and rainy, drizzly, and today it's hot and dry and very clear. Margie just reminded me to mention about these three pillars you're looking at. There's those two and this third one that just came into the camera. They walked off the deck during the Northridge earthquake and had to be replaced. The house stayed up, did not fall down, but those pillars left during the quake. How'd I do? How'd I do? I said the camera's rolling. Here's a shot from below the house, looking up toward the Schindler creation, which is in at least 100 different books on architecture. And Jan has showed us probably a dozen of them. In fact, I have a book with this house in it. People from all over the world have come here to look at this house. And there's Jan up on the upper balcony giving Lucy the tour that we had Saturday. And I'm in the lower yard. There's the path I came down. And behind me, oh no, not behind me. It's right up in there, is a tree house. Kind of hidden by the, there it is. That's the top of the tree house. It's a 3-story tree house. It's a bit rickety, so we're not going to go in there. Anyway, this is the end of the tour of the Schindler, Rudolf Schindler Walker House, and the interview with Jan Morrow, the current owner. In the last few seconds of this interview and tour of the Schindler House, I've asked Margie what it's like living in this house. What are the neighbors like?
It's wonderful. The community's close to everything. Neighbors are very friendly. We do a lot of spur-of-the-moment entertaining, both in and out of the house, and people come by and potluck, and kind of old-fashioned America, a real diverse community and friendly and helpful. So we love living here.
Good, thank you.